Hello friends and welcome back to another episode of Lynch Paints, where today is going to be the last in our series of Horus Heresy miniature painting with the Ultramarines. They were the last ones to be picked. I can kind of see why. I mean, it was probably because of the third or fourth Calgar miniature to be released. I know it's for 40k, and this is Horus Heresy, but yeah, I can see why. And also, you might have noticed that in the background, there's a window there. So I've moved studios. So I've moved from one room. I'm now in my conservatory, and it's just much better lighting. Hopefully it's better sound quality as well, and it's just more space, and I'm loving it. I'm trying to buy all my houseplants. It's great. So with all that said, let's grab our paintbrushes and our Codex Astartes, and let's dive into this one last time for the Horus Heresy. However, before we get started, we're going to need a selection of paints, and these are all the ones I've used in this video today, alongside which we're going to need, of course, a Codex Astartes approved medium little dry brush, a medium painting brush, a little bitch painting frayed brush stuff, and of course our teeny weeny tiny brush for all of our teeny tiny places. So we're going to start out like with most of our videos this season. We're going to do a black acrylic primer going all over our lovely miniature. Then I'm going to start out with a nice little fluffy brush like this and some Cantor blue to start out with. And we're going to take a little bit of this, work it into the bristles, and give it a nice heavy dry brush just going all over our model. If there are any areas in which you can't get to, like kind of in between there, you can always just grab a smaller brush and just watering it down just a little bit. You can just get into all those little kind of nooks and crannies that you can't quite reach to give a maximum coverage. So our next step is going to be using a lighter blue, so I have some Lothran blue over here. And we're going to mix in this with our Cantor blue, just to make a lighter shade. And again, we can dry brush. You could just use a normal brush, just kind of go over it that way. It depends again on like how many miniatures of these that you have to paint all at once. But if you're looking for a quick result with a lovely outcome, then use this method. Now we're going to move over to using even more Lothran blue. Now I would hazard a guess that it was probably about 50-50 of Lothran and Cantor, just for this kind of mid-tone blue. But again, if you have something like Ultramarine blue or something like that, then use that. I'm just kind of using the colours that I already own, and it saves me having a massively overstuffed paint rack because, well, there's just so much choice. So now we have an even lighter blue. We're going to be targeting the areas where the light source is going to be hitting most on the model. So that's like the upper parts of the shoulder pads, obviously like the top of the backpack, the helmet, that sort of thing. So we're going to start to build up our colours and create this really nice blended effect. And it's quick, it's easy, and you can get some great results from it as well with little to no effort, really. I mean, dry brushing is rather fun, in my opinion. And now finally we'll be using pure Lothran blue, and this is going to be our way of highlighting, or at least way of dealing with the highlights. So you want just a tiny amount on your brush and just pick out the very sort of highest peaks of the armor. Highest peaks? Yeah, you know what I mean, the very top parts of the armor. And again, I mean, like the Mark III is fantastic because you have all of these like segment areas, lots of edges and stuff, which dry brushing will pick it up really, really, really well. And it just saves you having the hassle of having to chase all those edges with a little brush. But of course, you can do if you wish. And again, with dry brushing, it adds a really nice texture. So you can either go like side to side, or you can stipple, depending on what sort of outcome that you would like, what kind of look that you're going for. And yeah, it's not going to be as smooth as using just like a normal brush, but again, if you've got like a tournament lined up and you really need to get those last like 30 guys painted up, then dry brushing is most likely the way to go about it. Now that our blues are done, we're going to move over onto the metallics. Now, before I do continue, you could always, if you wanted to, use the Lothran blue and just go over and do all the edge highlights and stuff to really maximize the contrast. If you really wanted to, if you're that way inclined, you can do so, but I'm not going to particularly bother. So anyway, jumping back, so metallics. I have here my little bitch brush, which is just an old brush that I refuse to clean. I kind of don't really clean any of my brushes, despite my... well, basically, I just buy cheap brushes. I do have like some nice brushes bought for me, and a friend of mine sat down, he cleaned, or like showed me this kind of brush cleaner stuff, and the amount of crap that came off one of my main brushes was outrageous, so much to his disapproval. So I'm going to go over the weapons, certain parts of the armour, just giving it like a heavy dry brush, just going over the top. And then you can always sort of neaten it up afterwards if you wanted to, or if you like the randomness, then you can always keep it as like a bit of battle damage. Now, if you wanted to make your metallic parts just a little bit snazzier, then you can always grab something like Runefang steel just to go over the top, and we can use this as a bit of a highlight. Just picking out maybe like the muzzle, barrel of the weapons, just kind of just going over a little bit of the edges just to make it look a little bit more shinier, stand out, and that sort of thing. But again, you don't have to go too mad with using this. Just a little bit here and there just can really make it stand out. So once we're done with the metallics, we're just going to tidy things up just a little bit with these two colours here. So we've got Corvus Black and Abaddon Black. So I'm going to grab a mid-sized brush. I'm just going to mix the two together, just a little bit. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to go over the kind of the bodywork of our weapons. And again, if you wanted, if the silver work that's kind of like gone out over the lines sort of thing looks really nice, then just leave it. Don't have to make it tidy. But some areas like here on the bolt pistol where the blues just kind of overlapped a little bit, yeah, you're gonna have to just tidy that up just a little bit, I'm afraid. So now what we can do is that we can mix the Corvus Black, maybe use a little bit of Storm Vermin Fur or that kind of like mid-tone grey sort of colour, and then just go back over the black areas and then just do maybe a little bit of edge highlighting, maybe a little bit of wet blending, again depending on how many of these that you're doing, or how few, maybe like you're doing like a couple of characters sort of thing, then doing this will just help to make the black parts of the weapons just stand out really quite nicely. Right, so back to using our bitch brush, we're then going to start to use some gold. So I've got this lovely brass scorpion, which is a nice sort of darker, more kind of subdued gold. And we're just going to do the shoulder pads and any other kind of little trim bits and pieces that you like. And again, depending on the rank of the miniature that you are painting. Obviously, like if you paint all the trim, then it's gonna look really, really rather snazzy and show that they are of great importance. But for this guy, it's going to be just as normal. Is it destroyer or despoiler? Not quite sure. I think it's a despoiler with the bolt pistol and chainsword. I'm just going to do the shoulder pads, and maybe this little skull in the middle. Why not? So once we're done with the brass scorpion, you can always highlight, kind of dry brush with using a lighter gold, but instead, because I don't have a lighter gold to hand, I'm just going to use some of this Iron Warriors just to go over just a few areas, just to give it a tiny bit of a highlight. Because using silver on the gold, it does make it look more warm, and it makes it look really pretty darn good. So again, you know, if you've got a lighter gold to hand, use that definitely, but if you don't, then you can always just use silver. It's great. So here we have the only 4 colours that you're going to need for doing red lenses. And I am kind of surprised at the amount of legions that have yellow eye lenses. I don't know, maybe because I kind of figured that, you know, the loyalists would have more sort of green, maybe blue eyes, and all the traitors have got red eyes. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of more like Star Wars coded with the whole colour system. But anyway, so what I generally do is that I'll go in, paint it all black first, and then I will mix about 50-50 of Abaddon black and Mephiston red, and I'll paint about 2/3 of the lens, and then I'll use pure Mephiston red to paint the first third, mixing in Mephiston red with your orange, just to do the very kind of like front point in the middle, and then using a teeny tiny bit of white, I'll then pop a little tiny dot at the back of the eye lens, and that will show a little bit of a reflective glow. So that's the kind of method, and I'm going to speed things up, and then you can see how it all goes together. Right then, now it's time that we do the logo. So I've got my teeny tiny brush, I've got the logo loaded up. Anyway, I know it's just a very simple Omega symbol, but is it Omega? I can't quite remember. But anyway, looks like an upside down toilet seat. So I'm going to use this Corax black and also white scar. I'm going to use the Corax white first. Because it's like a base color, it goes on a lot more smoothly over previous colours than a layer paint, and it is a bit of a darker white, and then I'll use the regular white just to do a little bit of blending, a little bit of highlighting. So with all that kind of waffling done, let's get started. And so here we are at the end of the video. So this is how I went about painting the Ultramarines for your Space Marine Legions. And it is the final Legion, the final episode to round out our Horus Heresy painting Legion series. So it's been really, really fun. There's quite a few Legions that after painting, I thought maybe I could get into these. Like the Thousand Suns, I thought, actually, do you know what? These are going to look really, really, really nice. It's not just a last, but it's also a first for this video. It's the first one in my new studio, quote unquote. Basically, I just moved from the bedroom down to the conservatory. Much better lighting. So hence why you can kind of see this kind of weird background going on there, and that's just a little reflection. So there's a little hand wave. Hello, you can kind of see over there, maybe not. I don't know. Depends how much I crop. But anyway, waffling now. So if you wanted to buy any more miniatures, I've got a link for Wayland Games in the description. It's an affiliate link, so do check it out. That would be amazing. I've also got links to my free Discord and also my Instagram page as well. If you want to check me out over there, that would be amazing. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do. I've put up a couple of polls on my channel, just kind of getting a vibe, trying to discuss and work down what everyone would like to see me paint next in the next new season. So it looks like it's going to be, in terms of 40k wise, Imperial Guard regiments. But I'm kind of looking outside a little bit more from Games Workshop. And I have done a lot of Star Wars Legion videos, so it seems like that you all want more Star Wars Legion videos. So I'm going to devise something. I'm going to sprinkle some other bits in between videos as well. I'm going to get back into doing some back reps. It's just that my guy that I normally play Star Wars Legion with, just dates haven't quite been able to nail down. But hopefully there should be one by the end of the year. And then the same sort of thing goes with Archmagos Lee as well for my Horus Heresy back reps. We just haven't quite got around to doing anything yet. Again, we're still trying to get our head around all the new 3rd edition rules for Horus Heresy, and we think we got there, but again, as always, you know, if we do, we're going to make some mistakes, so, and I'm sure that you guys will be able to point them out as nicely as you can. So with all that waffling out the way, again, just, you know, like, share, subscribe, comment down below, let me know if I did the Ultramarines justice. And yeah, with that said, thank you ever so much for watching. Stay safe, stay beautiful, and we'll see you all next time.